Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining Tara and I. There is going to be a press conference here shortly. So we were going to share the press release that came out last night. And then Tara is going to share each individual's charges. So give me just a moment and I will just read that press conference real fast. Or press release, I'm sorry. All right. So this was last night on March 30th, 2024. The Texas County Sheriff's Office requested the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation to investigate the suspicious disappearance of 27-year-old Veronica Butler and 39-year-old Jilian Kelley. Their vehicle was found abandoned near Highway 95 and Road L, south of Elkhart, Kansas, in rural Texas County. OSBI special agents immediately began investigating the vehicle and determined there was evidence to indicate foul play. On April 13th, 43-year-old Tad Burt Colum, 54-year-old Tiffany Michelle Adams, 50-year-old Cole Earl Twombly, and 44-year-old Cora Twombly were arrested in Texas and Cimarron counties. All four individuals were booked into the Texas County Jail on 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree. The OSBI, this was last night, they have since located and recovered both of the victims. And so that is that. Let me stop sharing it, and then Tara can share the individual ones. And is everybody, can you hear me just fine? Was everything okay?
Is there supposed to be, what time is it? Hopefully you guys can hear us. Sounds going in and out, so it is kind of spotty. I agree. I don't know. That's the joy of technology. Anybody else? Oh, I got a bad lag.
Let me move my mic.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, they can hear us. So I moved my mic. Yeah, you have a little bit of a lag on your end, but
I do. I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully it will
again,
improve.
thank you guys so much for joining us and being with us. You want to do that real quick?
Yep, I'll be right back.
Tara has just a little bit of a lag, so when I say something, it's taken a minute for her to hear me, and I don't want us to, talk over each other. So give us just a minute. She'll be right back. But again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm curious to see what they're going to say at the press conference. I'm not expecting a whole lot, or at least a whole lot more than what we already know. I do have, while we're waiting for Tara, I can share. This is where the bodies were recovered. This is property that Tad Colum leases. He leases it from somebody else. He just recently leased this property a couple of weeks ago, and we'll share a little bit more on that later on. But he did just recently lease this. So this is where this area, somewhere in this area, I believe it was actually kind of over down here. Over in the area, like where you see the buildings and stuff. That's where it was. They were actually looking last night and yesterday. Okay, Tara's back.
Hopefully.
Do you have a lag now?
I don't know. Can you hear me pretty good?
Okay, I can. Okay, you can go ahead and share those, and I will just mute myself.
Okay, I think I do have a lag, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen anyway. And let's start with, okay. Let's see, give me just a second to, can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. Let's see if I can looks like I would be sharing that screen. I'm presuming, let me see. Okay, I can't share. It's not going to let me. Okay, let me.
Sassy girl. Okay, that's fine. I will. Sassy
Okay.
girl, we did not search that area. It is on private property, so we were not able to search it. You want me to go ahead and share, Tara?
Yeah, I'm having an issue with my browser. It won't let me do it. I don't know what it is.
All right, give me just
Okay.
a moment so I can download them real
I think
quick.
I've got a bit of a lag. And so what we are sharing is the charges as they stand in the with the courts. And so found it to be very important to share these only because it's kind of telling, I think. And I'm pretty sure I still have a little bit of a lag, Carrie. I'm not positive, but I think I've got about a 3 to 5 second lag. So we just got the charges this morning, this information, the actual charges from the courts. And this is in Texas County. All 4 were processed there. And so it regards the same 4: Tiffany Adams, Tad Cullum, Cole Twombly, and Cora Twombly. Okay, good. Thank you, Karen. I was hoping you guys can hear me okay. I think maybe it's just me that's having the issues with the lag. So they all 4 have identical charges. And let me see here. They kind of want to just show you guys versus just verbalizing it. It's kind of a pain to share this stuff on StreamYard. I wish I was a little bit better in tune with it. But anyway, as we all know, the press release that went out the other night when we went live that we read showed that there was 2 counts of first degree, there was 2 counts of kidnapping, there was a count of conspiracy to commit murder for all 4. And so there's a little bit more than that, which is very interesting, I think. So we get to share that. In the meantime, let me see what's in the chat. Maybe I don't know if there's any questions in the chat while Carrie is pulling up the records. And so no, Sassy Girl, she already responded to that. Let me see here. Were y'all good, Carrie? Can you still hear me? Can everybody still hear me? I'm not seeing any new comments. Okay, there we go.
I can hear you. I just got them
Okay,
pulled up.
good.
Okay, sorry guys, I just had to download each of them.
You are good.
So give me just a moment. I got those.
Carrie, there's a question that said that it's would we be surprised if that newly leased land? Oh, I lost it. Do you believe the newly leased land will have anything to do with our belief that there could be more arrests? So I think, based on what I know, I think it's possible, but I think anything's possible at this point, given everything that we know. Do you guys know if they will be able to post bond? I don't know Oklahoma laws very well, so I don't know if I imagine it could be, but I imagine it would be an extraordinary amount. And it looks like everybody else has got that question. Yes. Everybody thinks that they can post bond, or they think that the leased land has something to do with more arrest. Does anyone know how old Jilian's children are? I don't want to go into a whole lot of details about that. There's some ideas there, but I know that they're not super young. but they look to still be at home potentially. Road Gypsy says they may not be offered bond based on the charges. That's what I was curious about too. Road Gypsy is if these charges were so extreme that maybe they need to be held on to. They have money, so will they run? Sassy Girl, it's a good question, and I suppose that whoever is arguing for to not have them released will mention the fact if they are flight risks or not. Oksana, they will probably not be offered bond because they are dangerous. I hope so. I hope so. Maybe a flight risk, and that's what made it. Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case, Road Gypsy. Absolutely. I'm hoping that they hold these four until they get all their ducks in a row. And Sassy Girl, in my area, they can post bond and be out the next day committing another crime. Yeah, there are some places that are like that. I don't know what area you're at what state you're in, Sassy Girl, but I know there are some places that is a potential. I know in Kansas, where I'm at, it's not as likely, or the bond is set so high that the judge will agree with it, and it's impossible to get out due to finances. Let's see. I hope they hold them and not allow them to post bond. I do too. In crimes like this, the judge has to set the bond. With the attorneys would have some say, so they'd get to argue the reasons why there would be bond or not bond. Would you think, Oksana? I don't think Oklahoma offers bond for first-degree murder charge. I hope not, Annabelle. I hope they don't. Sassy Girl, you're in Louisiana. Okay, that helps. Maybe if anybody wants to look that up to see if Oklahoma offer, I don't know if you can look that up. I don't know how you would do that. With 5 felony courts, I highly doubt they will be offered bond. That's true, Road Gypsy. These are all felony charges. These are not misdemeanors. These are pretty serious, if not the most serious crimes out there you could possibly commit, I would think. If Oklahoma's going to offer bond, there'll be a hearing. Okay. Yeah, I hope that. Carrie has. I don't know where Carrie went, but I'm sure she's coming right back. If she comes back with the way that StreamYard works, I may have to go out and come back in. Sometimes it's a little crazy like that. And then it looks like the press conference will start hopefully in about 6 minutes. I'm not sure there's a delay on it. My concern is the little child that turned them in. Is she safe? And if they get on bond, would they hurt her if they can? My understanding, Southern Girl, and I haven't confirmed it, but she's safe. That's all that we've been told, is that she's fine, and they don't have that kind of concern, I don't believe. Yeah, they don't need to be threatening anybody else. Will you be streaming the press conference? I think that was the idea, Katie. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I think that is our hope. We're still new to the StreamYard idea, so it would be we'd like to view it with everybody together. Carrie got dropped. She's coming right back. I heard the girl's in protective custody. I've heard that, and I've heard she's safe, Oksana. Those are the things that I've heard, and I think those are the same things that Carrie has heard. She can go into more detail if she's got it. They have to hold them until court is Oklahoma's law. They have to hold them. So, Donna, are you saying that because of the type of charges that they are, that this requires the Oklahoma law allows for law enforcement to keep hold of them until trial? Can you clarify that one a little bit for me? I worry about the folks they have on the outside to do their dirty work. Yeah, I suppose that would be a concern given some of the things that we've been learning about these particular folks, not the area. So I want to keep that separate. There's a difference between the area that everybody lives in and these particular people that are involved. I've got an attorney in Oklahoma. Hello, Cannon. They will most likely be held without bail. Their attorneys can file a motion to set a bond, and they will have a hearing and balance the Brill factors. What are the Brill factors? Would you give me a little bit more on that one? Looked up Oklahoma bond. They don't generally offer bond in murder cases. We're getting some verified information here between everybody, so that's awesome. They will be held to arraignment. Perfect. Yes, thank you. Murder charges has them hold on trial. That's my son's handle. My name is Jill. Oh, okay, Jill, thank you. I'm glad you clarified that. Carrie, we were just talking about if Oklahoma has a law in place that will allow law enforcement to hold these four and not let them bond or bail out. And it looks like the charges could be serious enough they're not going to be eligible for to bond out.
Okay, so real
The
quick,
murder charges has to hold them until trial, is what Donna Pulliam is saying. So that's cool. Carrie, I can't hear you. So Carrie, I'm going to hop out and hop back in because I cannot hear you.
okay,
And I
can
figured that's what
anybody
was
else
going to
hear
happen.
me?
So keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay, so you guys can hear me. I did not realize StreamYard will not let us share a PDF file. So unfortunately, right now, I'm just going to have to read you the charges. They're the same for each person. And then we will post these in the group. That way you guys can see them. And I believe we are going to go live this evening, and we will share them at that point too. So the charges for each of them, like I said, it's all the same. So far, everything is sealed, so we can't access any kind of probable cause statement. And I know that presser is supposed to start here in just a couple minutes. So let me get through this. For each of them, 2 charges of murder in the first degree, deliberate intent, 6 charges of kidnapping, and 1 charge of conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree, deliberate intent. So conspiracy to commit it, 2 charges of murder in the first degree, and 6 charges of kidnapping. So if they're going to get a bond, it's going to be awful high is what I think. I don't know if they would give any, with all of that, considering we don't know what evidence they have without seeing a probable cause. But I'm sure that we're going to find that out pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think so. 6 charges of kidnapping for each. Yes. 6 charges. So conspiracy should have been ×2 because I knew she had to have somebody with her. So they had to know it was going to. So we'd have to look at how Oklahoma defines conspiracy.
And
do I
pulled it up. We don't
do I
have. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I didn't have a lag. So I thought when we go silent, like, am I lagging or?
No, it's not too. It's really not too bad.
Okay, perfect. Why 6 counts? I was just gonna pull up that lovely little link as to why 6 counts. So when we saw these charges, we had to go look ourselves because originally it was only posted as 2. So when you have that many, kind of want to know, what does kidnapping mean in the state of Oklahoma? And in the state of Oklahoma, kidnapping is it's any person who without lawful authority seizes, confines, inveigles, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, decoys, kidnaps, abducts, or carries away another with intent, either to cause such person to be confined, imprisoned in this state against the will of the person, to cause another person to be sent out of the state against the will of the other person, or to cause such person to be sold as a slave or in any way held to service against their will of such person. And it is a felony, so it is pretty serious.
Extremely serious, yes. Little Irish girl, thank you so much. I actually think you were a member before, but thank you.
So why 6 counts?
Well, 2 are probably the children.
I would think so. And 2 are probably the women.
And 2 are the women. So who are the other 2?
Yeah. Yeah. So and that's why I say there these kind of charges, when you get them, they're telling. There's definitely more to the story, and so it's coming out little by little. Thank you, Sassy Girl. We definitely try to be respectful and factual, or we don't want to put something out there because information spreads like wildfire as much as misinformation does and misunderstandings. Makes you wonder if they were still alive. Okay, so Sneaky, I did a little bit of looking into on that one. And the term decoy, the word decoy, and there's an Oklahoma, Jill's in the room. She's canon art. So Canon or Jill, I definitely want you to chime in on this one. With the words that they use, any person without lawful authority seizes, confines. I need to look up the term inveigles, decoys, kidnaps, abducts. So I'm curious if that means that even if they just took them off the road, if they just encouraged them off the road, or I'm not sure. I think it's just. Let me look up this term real quick. Deception. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the word inveigle, but it means deception. To persuade or do something by means of deception. So it's, if I could speculate on this one to give an example, and Jill chime in. It looks like if there is intent, the desire to take somebody, or in this case, maybe if they took them off the path, if they forced them off the road or whatever. So it has to be something that was intentional, it looks like. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Jill. If you hold a person against their will or thwart their path, that can be kidnapping. So that looks like that the two women are probably definitely. We've got the press conference. It looks like it's showing up. I hope I can hear this presentation thing. Doesn't work as well for me. Let me try something really quickly. It would be 3 times they moved them with only 2 people, but Carrie's probably right by saying the kids are after the fact. Maybe kidnapping is kind of a blanket term and each individual charge has finer details. Yeah, I think that is a good way to look at that for sure.
I didn't realize I was muted, but I was saying that I have the press conference muted right now since they're not saying anything.
Okay.
So that's why nobody's hearing anything.
I was gonna say, I was like, so
I'm keeping
so I
an
can't
eye
see
on it. As soon as
I see the presentation on my phone, but I've got it on my. I can only hear and interact on the computer, so I'm watching the visual on my phone. I'm thinking, oh, please let me hear this. I do not. So I'm hoping I can hear it when it starts presenting, but I can't see the visual on my screen. But I know everybody else can.
Yeah, I hope you can hear it too.
If not, I will figure out a way. If I have to hop out to listen to it and come back in, that way you can hold down the forks. I do want to hear it.
Okay, so they did unseal this. The person that said that is correct. It was unsealed this morning. However, document is available at the court clerk's office. So if you're around there and you can go to the court clerk's office for us and get those for us, we would really appreciate that. Otherwise, I'll drive the 4.5 hours and go get them. But I'm sure there's somebody close there that would be more than happy to share those with us. And we would truly, truly appreciate that. But that's
So
great.
kidnappings.
So, yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
those, as soon as we can get those, we'll share them with you. But yep, they have the affidavit of probable cause document available at the court clerk's office. And the minute order, this case is ordered unsealed, 4/15.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. We like that. Okay.
Yes. Jill says kidnapping is not a blanket term. It's a statutory elements are specific. So that this is not good for them. This is said, but there's 6 counts of it. Jill, I'd love to get your speculation on, I don't know how much you know about the case, but based on your expertise, you've got the kids that would be held, the 2 women that were taken. Who would be the other 2?
I have a I have a thought in my head, but I don't want to share it quite yet. But
I do too, and
I
I have a thought as well, and I think you and I think a lot alike, and so it wouldn't surprise me with the same people in our head. But Now I need to catch up. Oh my goodness. Is there any chance the 2 kidnapping charges could also be regarding the 2 children for not dropping them off to their mom? I don't know where the kidnapping charges come in when the 2 kids are concerned. I believe I'm gonna say your name is Dallas, but I think the 2 children are 2 of those 6 charges. I absolutely do. Yeah, that's been a repeated sentiment over and over again, Oksana. Oh, I have followed from the beginning. One of my cases was quoted in their family law appeal. I have same thoughts, but it limits what I can type. Gotcha.
Right.
Looks like they'll be directly looking into the sun. Well, they should have thought that one through, huh, sassy
Right.
girl?
They might want to turn those
It's-
mics the other way.
Whoever was in charge of the setup failed. Oh, there's 3 counts felony charge 3 and 3 counts felony charge 4. That doesn't sound good. Can you break that down a little bit more, Road Gypsy? And if Jill can help you with that, I don't know how that. Wonder if they had to rescue the little that told them maybe they held her. Let's see.
Yeah, Tad's charge is still
Let's see.
the same as what I'd said a few minutes ago. 2 counts
Mhm.
of deliberate intent, murder in the first degree, 6 counts of kidnapping, and 1 of conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree, deliberate intent. And it looks like
That's how it's written.
start getting started here. Maybe.
I hope so.
And when it does, I'll put my screen up full screen right now.
Okay.
Can't see anything if I do that right now. So their initial appearance on April 17th at 9:30 a.m.
When is that?
April 17th, so Wednesday
That's
at
ironic.
9:30 a.m.
So April 17th, that's their first appearance.
Yes.
So that's ironic. Was that not the original date of the next custody hearing?
Sure is.
That is ironic.
Yep. That is. Looks
Same date.
like Tiffany's gonna have to show up to court after all.
Yep, Road Gypsy, exactly. I thought that was the date. Well, I always say I do believe karma and Murphy's Law work together. Prosecutors can get savvy with charges. They will go after them with everything they can. Absolutely. I hope they do. And I hope the bargaining power is limited. But I'm sure that it'd be interesting to hear if they're rolling over on each other. It's real. Oklahoma does have the death penalty. I have heard that numerous times, so that must be a true statement. Yeah, agreed, Oksana. Very much.
Kate does crime. We're waiting on it right now. They just haven't started it. As soon as they do, I'll turn up the volume and everything and make the screen larger for you.
It has been a whirlwind of 2 weeks.
Boy, has it. And it's still going to be a whirlwind.
It's not stopping. Well, that's why I'm so glad you changed the name of the Facebook group this morning to show the progression of the situation, the matter, and keep giving that space for everybody to engage and keep applying pressure where it needs to be applied. Let's see.
Karen, it's scheduled for 10 o'clock. I'm not sure where 9:30 comes from, but scheduled for 10. They should have started about 10 minutes ago, but they must work on my kind of time. Because if I say 9:45, you can bet it's going to be 9:55. Just heads up, you guys. And it is never, ever intentional. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but It's like something always comes up at the last minute, and yep, I'm always late for everything. For everything.
Oh, bond. Go back to that comment. Warrant was issued for arrest with bond to be denied or set at a Brill hearing in court minute. What is a Brill hearing? That's the second or third time I've seen that stated. I'm glad to see that, though. They'll be forced to file a motion with a brief on the Humphrey-Brill factors and facts that support or deny each factor. Oh, interesting. I would love to be in that courtroom when that takes place. Wow. Keys is my hometown, and this is just so hard to wrap my head around. I went to school
Yeah.
with one, hung out with the other, and knew the other two. I can't understand this. My hometown is sad. I'm sorry, guinea pig. I can't imagine.
So real quick, I
cannot
just googled Brill hearing in Oklahoma, and basically that's a bail bond hearing. That's a hearing that you're entitled to determine an amount for a bail bond in order to be released from custody if you've been accused and arrested of a crime. And the name comes from the case Brill versus Gurich in 1998. So basically, it's a bond hearing, is what we're normally used to calling it.
Okay.
That's my understanding. Okay, they're testing the mics. I hope they answer questions. There's going to be a whole lot. I just don't think that they are going to. I still think this is very active and there's still more stuff to come. So I just don't know that they're going to answer a whole lot of questions. But at least, this is the first press conference that they've done since the women were reported missing. So I'm happy that they're doing one. And I understand why they didn't previously, but we all wanted them to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was the decision that created this Brill hearing term. Is that the probable cause and stuff, Tara? Is that what you're talking about?
There was something that Jill said earlier. Brill versus Gurich. She said she could send us a picture, could send us the case, and so I said she could send it to either one of us in Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, anything you guys want to share with us, please feel free to put it on Facebook. You can find Carrie and I through a simple search. You can go back through the Facebook group and find us that way. But we can definitely help out with organizing that information. Just got something else. Let me see what I just got here.
Yo-Yo, it actually shows 6 counts of kidnapping. 6 counts of kidnapping on each party, not 2. So I just wanted to clarify that. The sassy girl. Yeah, me too.
Here they come, guys.
Okay, so they're coming. All right, let me make this big. Hopefully their volume gets a little bit better. Because right now,
if I drop out, Carrie, it's because I want to hear the conference and I'll hop right back in.
Okay.
Is everybody ready?
Oh boy, he's gonna have to get closer to mics or something. Hope you guys have earbuds in.
6, 7, 8,
Is he talking?
9, 10.
He is, and it's very low.
Okay, I'm gonna hop out. I can't hear it.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of do a step-by-step process of how we're going to do this. Each agency is going to have an opportunity to talk. You guys will have an opportunity to ask questions. So again, my name is Hunter McKee, Hunter. I'm the Public Information Manager with the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. We have the Director of the OSBI, Angela Spurlock here, the Deputy Director of the OSBI, Stephen Carter. We also have representatives with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We have the Texas County Sheriff, and we also have the District Attorney. So we are going to start with a few words from the Director of the OSBI, Angela Spurlock.
Good morning. I appreciate you all coming today. As Hunter said, my name is Angela Spurlock, the director for the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. As you all know, we have been working very diligently for the last 2 weeks to bring closure to the families. This has been challenging for everybody involved. This case did not end the way we had hoped. It has certainly been a tragedy for everybody involved. The mission of the OSBI, though, is to protect Oklahoma one partnership at a time, and certainly this case is an example of how those partnerships work, and how it takes everybody coming together to bring resolution. And so while I am very grateful for all of my agents that have worked since the very beginning, 24 hours a day, to get us to the point we are today, we could not have reached where we're at without the partnerships of the Texas County Sheriff's Office, the District 1 District Attorney's Office, without our FBI partners, and without the assistance of the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office and the Oklahoma Highway Patrol that could not be here. So our condolences go out to the family, and we will continue to update you as we continue to move this investigation forward. And now I'm going to turn it over to our FBI partners. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sonia Garcia. I am acting special agent in charge for the Oklahoma City Field Office, FBI. On behalf of the entire FBI, I want to express our sincerest condolences to the family and loved ones of Veronica and Jilian. The FBI was requested to assist on this matter on April 4th, and since then, we've had a dedicated team of analysts, agents, evidence response, and tactical personnel working around the clock and alongside with OSBI and Texas County Sheriff's Office to bring the individuals responsible for this crime into custody and to provide a sense of closure to the families and to this community. Know that we are grieving with you today. We will continue to work with our partners and to be an advocate for Jilian and Veronica and to ensure that justice will be served. Thank you.
And real quick, guys, that like banging sound, that's not us. We're
My
both
name is
muted.
Matt Bully. I am the sheriff of Texas County. And I would also like to offer our condolences to the family. My agency's role in this is that we received a call on March 30th of an abandoned vehicle missing, with persons missing from the vehicle. Deputies immediately responded to the area. When they arrived on scene, they found some things that just weren't adding up. So we established a crime scene and then notified the OSBI to have them come and assist us with this and to actually take lead on the case. We established a search party made up of the Guyman Fire Department and several of the volunteer fire departments in the county. And we searched the area around the crime scene for about a mile in each direction. Once the OSBI arrived on the scene, they took the lead and got us to this point where we are today. I'd like to thank the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, especially the Northwest region. They were phenomenal in this. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, Guyman Fire Department, several Kansas agencies that assisted, local agencies here in Texas County that assisted. I'm sure I've forgotten a few, but I'd like to just say thank you, even to the public. There was a lot of questions from the public as was there any danger to the public? And I think from the get-go, once we arrived on scene, that and we gained a little bit of information that we felt this wasn't a random bill. All right, we felt that with some of the information coming in, that it was more targeted, and we started to look in those areas that we were pointed to. Okay, thank you.
I'm George Harrison Leaks III. I'm the district attorney for District 1. I wanted to start to let you know that on Friday the informations were filed, and they were filed under seal. The reason they were filed under seal was to protect our law enforcement officers and to try to keep the children out of harm's way. We were successful. No shots were fired, and the children were kept out of harm's way. Our district judge issued an order this morning, and those files are now unsealed. So you can get the information at the courthouse, you can get the affidavits at the courthouse, which will give you the facts that we were working off of. Additionally, I would like to begin by, this has been an amazing enterprise. Reading on social media, some of the stuff, and there were people out there that thought law enforcement was asleep, that they weren't doing anything. There were even additional law enforcement agencies, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, Dalton County Sheriff's Office, Sherman County Sheriff's Office from the state of Texas. Everybody came together and everybody helped. We're probably talking somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 law enforcement officers. Truly, no exaggeration, working night and day for 15 days. I want to thank the public. We had people calling us from North Texas Panhandle, from the Oklahoma Panhandle, from Southwest Kansas, providing us information, responding because they cared. And the information we received from them was critical. Also want to thank corporate America. I don't know how many search warrants we issued. I'm telling you, they responded in lightning speed. Anything we needed, any order we sent, we got everything that we needed. Lastly, I'd like to thank all the law enforcement agencies that came together and worked together as a team, and all their personnel. They did a fantastic job. Thank you.
Any additional questions you guys have, go right on ahead.
Is there confirmation at this point that the bodies recovered are Jilian and Veronica?
Not at this time. We have, we identified that there were 2 bodies during our search. Both of those deceased persons have been transported to the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office, where they will do a proper identification and also look into a cause and manner of death.
What led to the discovery of the bodies?
Based on the evidence that our agents and the local law enforcement were able to obtain, we used that to search a wide area throughout Texas County, and we were able to use those resources in order to find where these 2 bodies were.
Do you know the timeline for when the bodies should be identified and when we should know what the cause of death was?
It's a case-by-case basis, but as soon as we hear back from the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office, we will let the public know.
Can you describe the scene where these bodies were recovered and what state these remains are in?
No, I mean, I can say that it was a very rural area. I cannot state the condition of the bodies.
Is this private property?
I cannot confirm that at this time.
In Oklahoma, there's the death penalty. If convicted, could we possibly maybe see this in this case?
You would have to reach out to the district attorney's office. That'll be something that will be discussed further down the line.
DA Stewart alluded to a lot of people calling in with a lot of tips. Were there particular tips that broke this case?
We received several tips throughout this entire process. The public, I mean, I know that we had thanked that our local law enforcement agencies, what they were able to help us and throughout this search, but the people here throughout this area have done a tremendous job of reaching out to us. The original press release that we had put out on March 31st in regards to searching for these 2 women, we constantly received several tips and had used those throughout the entire 14-day process in order to find these 2 bodies, and then also discover and find those who were responsible for this crime.
So the reason
only foul play was suspected was because of evidence found in the car. Can you go into more detail now of what that evidence was?
We cannot still at this time. It is still an ongoing investigation, and that is for our investigative purposes. Again, we can say that the evidence that was discovered inside of that abandoned vehicle and around it, we're able to help our investigators determine that there was foul play involved, and then led to the progression of this investigation. What was in the vehicle around it, we cannot discuss.
It was quite a convoy in executing these 4 search warrants. Was there concern of resistance to arrest? How much concern was there over a possible gunfight?
When you are regarding arrests and multiple arrests in the magnitude that we have all discussed, there is always, a cause of, of trying to protect the public as best you possibly can. We can say that all 4 of those arrests were made without incident, and so that, of course, went extremely well, and we are extremely grateful. Another agency that wasn't able to make it, that was a big part of that and helped us tremendously, was the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. So we want to thank them tremendously on that. But I mean, again, there was concern, but we are extremely thankful that no one was hurt, no one was injured during this process.
Did any of the 4 suspects charged in the case tell law enforcement where to find them?
Say that one more time.
Did any of the 4 suspects charged in the case tell law enforcement where to find them?
No, we cannot discuss that at this time.
How early did you guys have suspects?
We can't discuss that.
Are you able to go into further detail how you believe that this was targeted and not a random act?
Based on the evidence and the information that we were able to obtain throughout the entire investigation, what was found inside of the vehicle, witnesses, family, friends of the victims that we were able to talk to throughout this entire process, we were able to gain the information to determine that that these 4 people were responsible for both of these women going missing.
Also, are you able to confirm if this was over a custody battle?
We cannot confirm that at this time.
What's the relationship, if any, between the suspects and Veronica and Jilian?
Again, because it is still an ongoing investigation, we cannot discuss that.
We know that 1 arrest was in Texas County, the 3 others in Cimarron. Can you describe the arrest process? You said there was no resistance, but
that's all we can really say at this time. And we can say that the 4 people that we were looking for were found, arrested, and placed into custody within the same day, and there was no resistance.
and obviously you can't talk about the evidence in this case, but is there significant physical evidence in this investigation?
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
No.
Are you able to go into the condition of the bodies that were found?
No.
The reason you guys were so tight-lipped right off the start, you said there wasn't a threat to the public. You guys were investigating, but still not a lot of information was released. Is there a reason for that?
There was not immediate threat to the public. Again, as the sheriff alluded, this was a targeted case. And when you ask about us not releasing a lot of information in that 2-week process, this is the way that our investigators work. This is what you have to do in order to get the job done, everybody involved, in order to catch those responsible and do everything in our power to find both of these people who went missing from the very beginning. So again, as we try to do, as the investigation progresses, we can release as much details as we possibly can. But again, the way that this process works is you can't give away as much as maybe you guys are asking for, because that's how we're able to catch these 4 suspects.
Did law enforcement speak with Tiffany Adams on March 30th?
I cannot confirm that.
Was the property where the bodies were found connected to the suspects at all?
I cannot confirm that.
Was Kelley a court-appointed supervisor for Butler's business with the children?
I can't go into that.
So I know the bodies haven't been identified, but everyone expressed their condolences. Do you think there's any chance that Veronica and Jilian are still alive?
No.
Any word on arraignment?
We will look into that further. When that is made available, we will let everybody know.
As the investigation progresses, do you expect the possibility for more suspects to be arrested?
Not at this time.
have the suspects been cooperative and talkative, or have they provided any type of confessions?
We cannot release that at this time.
Have the families helped you guys during this process and all? Have you guys worked
Yes.
with them? What's that been like?
Families, friends, people that have known both of these women who went missing have been a tremendous help. Everybody that we have talked to has helped us tremendously in doing everything they can to give us the necessary information in order for us to try to track them down and find out what happened.
Where are the children?
We can't go into that right now.
Are they?
They're safe. Yes, yes.
Are they
Children are
recent
safe.
them?
We can't go into that.
Now that the FBI is involved, will they face any federal charges?
We're not going to go into that right now.
So what next? Is there going to be further investigation?
Yes,
In,
the
the-
investigation continues. The next steps are when the identification of the two victims is made, we will let everyone know. And when the cause and manner of death is made by the medical examiner's office, we will let everyone know. Right?
Were the bodies together?
We cannot confirm. Right now, there are no suspects at large. The public is not in danger. That's what's important to us. We are extremely grateful that we were able to locate and arrest the 4 people that we believe are responsible for this crime. As soon as the identification is made with the bodies, we will let everyone know. But again, it took everybody in this case to get this done. We know that there were people throughout the 2-week process who were frustrated, who wanted answers as soon as possible. You know, we wanted those answers too, but just know that our OSBI agents, FBI agents, troopers, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, the KHP, everybody worked nonstop in order to come together and make these arrests.
Can you talk at all about the relationship between?
No, we can't go
four-
into that right now.
Was there ever any concern for the children at any point in this investigation? Like for their safety?
There's always concern whenever there's children involved, but we can say that the children are safe.
With this being such a rural area, did this make this case unique in any ways?
It made it challenging. Again, you're talking about northern Texas County, near that Kansas line. It's very rural. Those of you in the media that have been up there covering this, not a lot of homes, not a lot of buildings or businesses. Sometimes you could use cameras to help you in this case. We did not have that. So that's what made it extremely challenging.
Is there any video evidence?
Not at this time.
Have you ever seen a case like this? Like, is there anything different about it?
The OSBI covers all kinds of cases. Each case is different in their own way. They're all just as important to us. But, you know, this case was tragic. You have 2 people who are dead, and 4 people that committed an absolutely brutal crime. And so, again, that's why it took every agency involved in this in order to get this done.
Those 4 are still being held here?
Yes. Is everybody good? Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so there we have it. Let me recap real quick with the notes that I had written down. And if Tara, if you have anything to add that I might have missed, feel free to jump right in. The Texas County Sheriff, basically, he said that their role was they had received the call on March 30th that there was an abandoned vehicle with the persons missing from it. The Guyman Fire Department and the volunteer fire department searched a mile in each direction of where the car was found. Once OSBI arrived, which was that day, I think within a few hours, then they took the lead on the investigation. I can tell you that the local sheriff department there, none of them were being given any kind of information as far as the evidence that was found or where the case, was at, nothing like that. So local law enforcement was not made aware of anything going on. I know that firsthand from speaking to a local law enforcement officer. The DA of District 1 briefly spoke. He said Friday the information was filed under sealed, which that was very, very, very smart. And that was for two reasons, really, to keep the children out of harm's way, as most of us kind of were very, very concerned about them. And also to protect law enforcement efforts, which is why when people started posting the photos and the videos of law enforcement going in, Tara and I made a decision to remove those and not allow them, as to not hinder what we knew that, they were about to do. That could have been a very scary situation that they went into, especially with Tad Cullum. And so that's why we didn't allow that. But so those documents were unsealed this morning. However, they're not available online like they are in a lot of cases. So we're just Tara and I are just hoping that somebody from there will either send them to us, or one of the news channels will definitely get them quickly and they will post them. And as soon as they do, we'll get that information to you guys. OSBI, do you have anything to add on those first two, Tara? I'm sorry.
You're good. I think the only thing I would add is that law enforcement determined quickly it was not random, that it was specific, it was targeted, which is why they did not put anything out to the public to warn anybody. They didn't alert the public.
Right.
So I think that's important they pointed that out intentionally, I think.
Yes. OSBI spoke. They have not confirmed that the bodies recovered are those of Jilian and Veronica. However, they have been transported to the medical examiner for identification and the manner of death. He would not confirm whether or not it was private property, but it was private property. It was land that he had recently leased from another landowner. So it wasn't land that Tad owned, but it was land that Tad was leasing. And like I just said, he had just recently done that, just within a few weeks prior, actually. Let's see. He would not. Okay, so he wouldn't confirm it was private property. He would not discuss whether the death penalty would be on the table. People there, he said, did a great job with tips. They were used throughout, the 14 days. He said there was evidence in and around the vehicle that, caused them to immediately come out and say that foul play was suspected. He would not say what that evidence was. The arrests were made without incident. He said there wasn't any problems. Nobody was hurt or injured during the making those 4 arrests yesterday. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol assisted greatly. And I can tell you guys that almost everywhere that I went there, I did see Oklahoma Highway Patrol. So they absolutely were helping. And I kept saying all along that behind the scenes, law enforcement was working very, very, very hard. I mean, Tara and I said without a doubt, they had the information that we knew as well all along, obviously, so especially when FBI came in, we knew they were working really hard. And they actually, I think 2 weeks was really good for something like this. I think they did a great job.
Yeah.
Let's
Absolutely.
see. He would not discuss if the suspects told them where to find them. What do you think about that, Tara? I was like,
it's interesting because there's been a lot of, so he wouldn't say,
yeah, he wouldn't say,
he wouldn't say if
who
the bodies were. Yeah, he wouldn't say that, the bodies hadn't been identified. He did say they didn't expect to find Jilian and Veronica alive. So I'm curious because there has been some talk that Jilian may have been wearing an iPhone watch, an Apple Watch.
Right,
And
correct.
so you got to be curious if they didn't need those folks to talk. I don't know how all that works, but So I'm just curious. Maybe they had some information they presented to one of those four, and one of the four is like, "Well, crap, you have more than I thought you had." So it's I'm
Right.
really interested to see, like, because that's how they work, right? They're the law enforcement says we have this, you might as well tell us, and so I'm really curious about how they would have known to go to that remote
Right.
location
Right.
without some tips, without some sort of technology
I
that was
do have
involved. So
I do
that's
have an answer for that, and hopefully,
mhm,
maybe I can say it in the live tonight, but I do have an answer for that as to how they, kinda at least one of the reasons why they went to the property that they did to search for them.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
and, why they charged with murder before having bodies. I think they had plenty of evidence to know that they were no longer alive, and they knew that they would find them. That's what I think. I don't know. It is still
Mhm.
under investigation. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
He would not discuss whether or not this was over the custody battle. We can pretty much assume that that had a whole lot to do with it.
Right.
Um, he said there is no chance that they're still alive, so even though they're not
Correct.
confirming that the 2 bodies recovered were indeed Jilian or Veronica, he did say there's no chance that they're still alive. Also, at this time, there's no more suspects, that, they plan to be arresting regarding this case. So when I keep saying I think there might be more, I've said maybe not directly related to this, but maybe indirectly in some other ways. We'll
Right.
see, but as of this
Well, it's
time, they don't feel there's any more suspects related to the murders of both Veronica and Jillian. Go ahead.
well, I think it's important to remember that throughout the last 2 weeks, they would not admit to having suspects to begin with. They kept it very quiet, very kosher, so I very close to the vest. I don't think they're going to put out their playing. They're not going to give up their
No, no
playing hand
way.
yet. They've got a lot more to go through, I think.
Yeah. Oscana, he wouldn't confirm that. I have a hard time thinking Tiffany would even would tell them. I don't think she would have cracked like that right away. I
I
just
don't
don't.
think so either. That's why when that it's there may be some confession to something.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But I just have if she did, if Tiffany did, given some of all of the rhetoric that has been posted and those that know her in the Facebook group, it doesn't sound like she would have done it out of the kindness of her heart or because
No,
her moral
definitely
fibers started
not.
connecting. It
Yes.
sounds like maybe it was one of those if you'll maybe Oklahoma has the death penalty, and so maybe that's a bargaining chip for her. I'll tell you what I know, but take the death penalty off the table or that
Right.
sort of thing. So I'm definitely questioning what the confession, so to speak,
Yes.
was,
Absolutely. Boy,
what the details of that were.
I can't wait to read that probable cause. Um,
Oh yes.
so he also said that family and friends were a tremendous help to them, and I
Hmm.
absolutely believe that. People they didn't want to talk to the media and stuff, but they definitely were calling in the tips and things that they knew. And if it weren't for them, so thank you to all of you that are there, that
Hmm.
knew things, that had information, and you, reached out and gave them your tips because that's definitely what helped solve it, and he said just as much. Let's see, he would not go into details, on whether or not there will be federal charges. He also wouldn't confirm if the bodies were found together, though I'm pretty certain that they were at least right there in that same location that they had been, searching last night or yesterday when all that broke. He wouldn't really discuss, the concern if they had concern for the children's safety during the investigation, but it's obvious they did. That's why everything got sealed so quickly. And then again, they sealed, the documents on Friday when they knew that the arrests were coming. He said that the ruralness of the area definitely made it, challenging.
Hmm.
I was seeing a lot of comments that were like, "Well, what about cameras?" Well, I can tell you there are no cameras like anywhere around. I don't know if like people there normally have like Ring doorbell cameras or something. I kind of don't think so. If they do, it's not a majority. And the areas are so far apart anyway. I don't really know are the different properties and all that. I don't really know that that would have been very helpful. But there definitely wasn't like, cameras or anything that we usually have that would have been able to assist law enforcement. So they worked extremely, extremely hard. I'm very proud of the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. I am amazed with how quickly they were able to bring this all together, just, recover the bodies. And I think they did a great job at it. I truly do.
Mm-hmm. I do
So,
too.
you want to add any? That's all the notes I took on it. So if you have more,
No, that's all I can think of as well. I think you covered it really well. I kind of want to gather our ducks and put something together so we can come back live and get more of the story put together.
definitely. So we're going to do a live this evening. I'll work this out all day
Mhm.
today. I'm not sure the exact time yet, but we'll get together. Tara and I will, and we'll you figure out the time. I'll post that in the Facebook group, and I'll also post it on my YouTube community tab on the channel. So, but be looking for that because this time we're actually going to put some pieces for you together in an actual kind of presentation way to help everybody understand more of who the players are, how things led up to this, and go from there. So hopefully you guys will join us then.
I hope so. Oh my goodness. It'll be interesting. We've got lots going on.
Yes. All right.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all for
Yes.
joining us so much. So
Yes,
much.
we appreciate you
Thanks.
all being here. Like I said, please join us for the live this evening. Thank you to the new members and subscribers. And if you haven't yet, if you will like the video real quick, it just helps with the algorithm on YouTube so that, the video can be seen more. And if you're not a subscriber, I'd love for you to just hit the little subscribe bell so you get notifications. Other than that, we'll see you in the Facebook group. And thank you so much to all of you. Tara, always thank you to you. Tara is amazing. She's done just as much work as I have on this case, and she deserves a whole lot of credit as well. So thank you again to all of you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in the group. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.